right, Steve-O.
It's the word.
Man, bro, Dame Lillard is the word. Ever since he announced that he wanted to be traded from the Portland Trailblazers, there's only been one team at the forefront of all of the rumors, man. We're going to talk about how this situation is getting crazier and crazier by the day with Dame Lillard and his agent. What he telling teams if they want to trade for Dame Lillard right after the intro.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
All right, welcome to another episode of NBA Central. It's your boy Big Bro. We got Steve-O Speaks in the building, and right off the bat, y'all can hit us up at NBA Central Pod on all social media platforms. Make sure y'all hit that TikTok up. And listen, we got the whole Central family: the Chicago Bears Central, Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago White Sox Central, Chicago Cubs Central, Chicago Blackhawks Central, Chicago Sky Central, and the Cognac Boys, Shad Bulls podcast. Y'all know how we get down, man. We holding
Bro.
Chicago. And coming soon, Chicago Fire Central. We ain't forgot about you soccer boppers out there. But listen here, Steve-O. When Damian Lillard announced that he wanted to be traded after spending his entire 11-year career with the Portland Trailblazers, making rap songs about how he's never gonna leave, just talking all types of craziness about how he want to stay and be like Kobe and be like Dirk and be like Duncan. He finally see the sense that KG finally saw when he got up out of there and went to Boston. It's like, hey man, I can't do this no more. These fools just gave Horace Grant nephew $160 million, and they drafted my replacement right there in front of me. He ready to go, but he doesn't have a no trade clause in his contract. He doesn't have, and he's on the books for like 60-70 million dollars a year as time goes on. And he only wants to play for one team, according to his agent, Aaron Goodwin. According to Woj my man is talking about Aaron Goodwin is warning teams interested in trading for Damian Lillard that he only wants to play for the Heat. He said that he wants to set the record straight and say that I do what I should for my client. Some teams I did call, other teams have called me. It's a respectful relationship with most teams. Truthfully, he wants to play for Miami, period. So this man is literally trying to control where he goes, even though he doesn't have any control over the situation. And his agent is reportedly contacting some trade partners and warning them not to trade Damian Lillard because he's an unhappy player if he goes to any other team than South Beach. What you think, Steve-O?
First of all, if you wanted to go to South Beach, why did you wait so long to ask for a trade while you sitting there seeing them lose all their trade assets? See, that's what you see. You trying to have your cake and eat it too, and this ain't a have your cake and eat it too league. It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you're in a situation where you're just not in the shit. Well, let me take that back. It is a cake and have your cake and eat it too league if you're set it up right. You knew going in signing that supermax that you wasn't gonna get a trade clause, so you knew. So by all means, we probably honestly knew. We all know he wanted to stay, but the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall years ago, but you didn't want to see it. Like I said, that whole organization, including you, has been delusional this whole time. So the fact that you sitting here tampering, your agent is sitting here basically tampering, saying being basically Eli Manning daddy and being like, hey, if you draft them, we ain't playing.
You
You ain't
know,
getting a happy player.
You know what's crazy about the situation? Dame spent the better half of the second half of his career, let's just say it that way, signing extension after extension and tying up more and more money, all the while complaining about not getting enough help around him. Like, dude, how are you gonna get help when you taking up 70% of the salary cap?
Well, he was taking up 70% because they realized, hey, ain't nobody trying to come here. So he said, well, I might as well get the money. That's really what it was, because like they couldn't get nobody. Nobody wanted to come there. So it's like, if I'm gonna take the money then. So like, But like I said, you gotta understand what comes with it. So now you in a position where you don't have a choice of where you want to go. Like if by God, if they want to send you to Toronto, you gonna be a Raptor.
Yep, and that's the difference though between Dame Lillard and the people that he claimed that he wanted to be like. Dirk Nowitzki took discounts. He wasn't taking the super maxes. Tim Duncan wasn't taking the super maxes. Those guys were making sure that the teams that they were on at least had the ability to trade for help or sign help in free agency. Whether people want to come there or not, you get the right GM, they can make some moves happen, make things shake. And unfortunately for Dame, he might have stayed a little bit too long. Like he was supposed to be doing this. Clearly, he was supposed to be doing this 3-4 months ago. That's first of all, and then obviously he should have been doing it 3-4 years ago. So
Yeah,
here you are now. You're between a rock and a hard place because the one team you want to go to no longer has anybody to trade to that. I mean, like nobody wants Tyler Hero per se, right?
yeah,
Because it's like Tyler Hero is going to get into some money now too. He's going into his new contract situation, coming off an injury, and honestly, is he enough
yeah,
to
right.
replace Dame Lillard?
No, I like I knew coming in they was gonna want like because I knew once they start asking for Bam, I'm like, oh, they really don't want Tyler. Like they gonna try to get anybody other than Tyler. So like you said, you for somebody that wanted this to happen, you played your cards a little too late. You was playing checkers instead of chess. And when you have a deal like that, you gotta play chess because you don't have the option to be like, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go here and you don't have that willpower now. Basically, you right now you're only going off of the good relations that you done built over the 11 years, and hopefully, just going off hoping they don't steer you wrong and do you wrong. That's basically all you're going off of. But for now, your fate is not even in your hands anymore.
And while he playing games, he needs to be looking at Boston like, hey, let's go get that trade for Jaylen Brown. Y'all let him bring Jaylen Brown over here and I go over there with Jason Tatum and we make it work because at least Boston got something to offer the Portland Trailblazers. It just doesn't make sense now because Jaylen Brown is still they would have to extend Jaylen Brown first and then try to trade him to Portland because he's still not on his max contract himself.
hmm and that's what I feel like. That's what Boston, maybe Boston. A lot of the sources are saying Boston not interested, but they are taking a while, and they do get some time, a little bit more time to give him that extension. But matter of fact, I don't know if they got. They might have like a day left or so. But like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but like, you gotta like I said, you played checkers. You was playing checkers instead of chess. You was not in a position to guide the way you wanted to. So, like I said, you could basically you gotta hope and pray that you can be in Miami Heat. Just be saying,
I
because
don't
at
see it
this
happen.
rate, 'cause I'm about to say at this rate, you just look like you're gonna be a trailblazer at this point.
Right, because unless Pat Riley gonna make a few phone calls, excuse that, excuse that, and
hey,
calling a few favors.
hey, Richie, call Paulie.
Hey Richie, get Paulie on the horn. But
Uh,
it's not looking good for Dame Lillard, man. And obviously Dame is one of those players that's kind of universally loved by fans who ain't even fans of the Portland Trailblazers. They're just fans of him. And we want to see
mhm.
him at least have an opportunity to compete. But it's looking like, man, like unless you gonna find yourself on, let's say maybe even Philly got assets, but they don't want to give up Tyrese Maxey. You got Toronto got Pascal. That might be something that they can work into play. And I mean, I can't really think of too many other situations unless they package him to the Lakers for some expiring contracts and so on and so forth, so he can play with AD and Bron, like your boy was saying yesterday.
Mhm.
But I can't really think of man, like the Knicks and no go. Maybe they can package him to
I'm about to say.
Atlanta, maybe. You send Trey Young over to Portland and put DeJounte and Damian Lillard together. Like, who knows? That could happen. But I
Mhm.
just don't see Miami being a true actual place that he can get to unless they pull every string possible.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't even know if Miami is the goal. Like you said, I don't understand why Boston's not in your one of your ideal places to go. Like Bill, Philly, Boston, and Miami should have been in your thoughts. So the fact that you just stuck on Miami right now is like You just showing more of you that you being old stubborn Dame, and Dame need to stop being stubborn and think like be a businessman at the end of the day, because you got to realize you're not in the proper situation to make the best decision. Like you can't make that choice that you want to go to Miami. It's out of your hands. You shouldn't have signed that supermax.
And stubborn is what got him in this situation to begin with. You were stubborn and you stood pat and stayed in Portland, and now you're being stubborn on where you want to go. And unfortunately, man, like you're not in the Kyrie situation. Kyrie was in the last year of his contract.
Exactly.
You're not in the KD situation. KD is, honestly, still one of the best players on the planet. Not saying that Dame isn't. He averaged like 33 points a game last season, but him and KD are still two different types of players, and teams are willing to pull the plug on a KD trade. And plus, Phoenix actually had assets to give to Brooklyn in order to get KD over there, whereas it's not the same with Miami.
Man, like I said, you ain't in the Kyrie situation. You just didn't put yourself in the best predicament to have this attitude. To have this, and I'm not saying like an attitude, but you have the attitude of that you want to go somewhere and you ain't willing to shake. Well, I'm sorry, bro. You ain't in. This ain't a college decision. Like
Uh-huh.
you don't have the opportunity to just pick where you want to go.
And you're not a free agent.
You're not. You're
Not even
not.
close to it.
But you got like two to three more years left in your contract, bro.
But he
So
got
like,
more than that. He signed another extension. Like
oh,
he signed extensions before his last extension expired. So it's like, my dude, like you basically bet the house on them honoring their word and bringing players to you when they hadn't done it at all.
and now he honored, and now he finna be on their word again. Hopefully, hoping that they send him somewhere that he want to go to.
Matter of fact, let me see what his current contract look like, because that's what I'm trying to figure
Crazy.
out.
It's crazy. It's sitting there crazy because like I said, you and it's seeing how the whole NBA is shifted to um player empowerment, player choice, their vote counts and everything. Like it's so many blueprints. Like all you had to do was see what James Harden did. James Harden ain't never signed a contract like that.
Nope. And that's the thing. LeBron was signing 3-year deals. That's what started it.
Yep. That's
But
exactly what started it. So like you just didn't play your cards right. You didn't play your cards right, and now you finna be placed the hand you dealt. And it looked like you just finna sit there and be in Portland. Or you gonna
yeah,
end up somewhere you don't want to be.
he still got 176 million dollars left.
Phew.
And for he won't be a free agent until 2025.
Playboy. Go ahead and drop that. You might call your age of the night and say that is not true. I'm willing
No,
to go
and
to the
listen, and
best options.
that's the thing though. His extension starts in 2025. So he's looking at a situation where he's gonna go all the way through 2026, 2027. And that year he's making $63 million.
And he's 32 now. So that's what, 34, 35.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing we're not even bringing up. A lot of teams are looking at because, like, yeah, you're the old superstar. Now, I'm not as people as giving him more flack on that because of saying he's 32, but I'm like, he a shooter, so like he could play till he's 40. Barring any serious injuries, he could honestly play till he's 40. But yeah, it's just like a lot of teams is not willing to give up young stars for basically expiring superstar.
Bro, he's making $64 million in 2026, 2027, bro. That's crazy. That's the extension that he signed. So it's like, dude, like, I just don't know what he was thinking, man. And now he got his agent out there head hunting, trying to make sure that nobody trades for him just because Portland really holds all the cards. They could trade him to OKC. And honestly, if I'm him, I would want to go to OKC and play along the SGA, alongside the SGA. OKC got so much draft capital that they could just trade draft picks and get Damian Lillard. You feel
And it's
me?
not a
But
bad place to go to because it's you can still make a valid fight and you give yourself multiple years to win.
and you got a young Chet Holmgren coming back. You got a superstar in the making right there next to you who's better than CJ McCollum. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Dang, at least start thinking long term as opposed to what you see right in front of you. You're looking at the fact that Miami just made it to the finals. You're looking at the fact that Jimmy Butler couldn't get it done by himself. Him and Bam need a little bit of help, and you think that's enough to get them to win the championship. But the reality is, dude, you don't have any leverage.
And even if
None.
you do, let's say you do get to Miami, if an investigation come out and y'all charged with losing some money and some picks, then y'all still in a bad situation.
Now your hands really tied.
Exactly. So
All
you
right,
just left a one situation for another bad situation.
it's crazy sitting looking at it because, like I said, man, we love Dame. We want to see him succeed. But Brody, you the one that signed all these contract extensions. You on the books for $64 million in a couple of years, and these teams that you're talking about going to have to take all that into consideration because that's a huge salary cap hit, especially with the new CBA. So you got your bread, my guy, and you might just end up being another one of those players who got paid and didn't really win much, my guy. It's just what it is. It is what it is. You can write an album about it. write a song about it. When here it go.
I don't want to hear nothing at this point.
Hey, apparently he don't want to hear nothing if it ain't Miami.
Well, it's too bad. You played your cards wrong.
Yes, sir.
You was playing Texas Hold when they was playing blackjack.
Yeah, man. Bro. All right, so we gonna holler at y'all next time. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us over here on NBA Central, and of course the entire Central family, as we said earlier. Hey, Steve-O, man, this is crazy. I feel bad for Dame, but I don't at the same time.
I don't feel bad at him at all because, like I said, you sat there and waited too long because you wasn't paying attention. You didn't do it right. So
I don't understand what his agent was telling him 3 weeks. Like, why not make sure you try? Why not? Even if they tell him 2 days before the draft, 2 days before the draft that they're gonna keep the pick and draft a player, then 2 days before the draft is when you demand the trade.
Bro, that's all we was sitting there waiting for him. As soon as they said we came pick, we was like, all right, we waiting for it. As soon as that meeting, you should have asked for that trade. That was the day.
That was it. He had to go home and talk to his family about it and pray about it and all that. Now, my dude, you needed to be intentional right there. Because that right there was the difference. Because if you'd have made that decision before the draft, you would be in Miami right now.
Y'all about to say you probably be in Miami right now as we speak.
Real talk. Yeah. You up out of there. All right, man. We're going to holler at y'all next time. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. I'm Big Kev. That's Steve-O Speaks. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.